This is Mike. Mike wants a $200 pair of shoes. Unfortunately, Mike currently has $37 and a dream and absolutely no self-control. Mike checks his wallet a second time, just in case more money quietly spawned in there since the first check. The responsible choice would be to leave the website. So naturally, Mike keeps scrolling. Then Mike sees four magical words: pay in four installments. The website has taken a $200 problem and turned it into a cute little $50 problem. Mike does not do the math on what four payments actually add up to, because doing math would ruin the moment. The shoes are not cheaper, but Mike's brain has already left the building. Mike pays the first $50. The shoes arrive 2 days later, and for approximately 7 minutes, Mike feels like a financial genius. 7 minutes, it turns out, is exactly how long financial regret takes to load. He tells himself, I did not spend $200. I only spent $50. This is called lying, but with a checkout screen. A few days later, Mike sees some headphones. The headphones cost $160, but that is not what Mike sees. Mike sees four easy payments of $40. Mike does not ask why headphones need a payment plan at all, because that question would ruin everything. Mike thinks $40 is basically nothing. Mike has now said this about 6 different amounts of money. So Mike buys the headphones, then a jacket, then a gaming chair, then, for reasons nobody can explain, a miniature waffle maker. Nobody in the history of waffles has ever needed a miniature one, and yet, here we are. At this point, Mike is not shopping. Mike is building a museum dedicated to things he could not afford. Each purchase still feels small. $40 here, $25 there, $37.50 on Tuesday, because apparently debt also has appointments now. Mike's calendar has started to resemble a crime board, except the crime is just Mike's own spending. Then payday arrives. Mike's paycheck enters his bank account. For 11 beautiful seconds, Mike is rich. Then the automatic payments wake up. They have been sleeping in shifts, waiting patiently for exactly this moment. The shoes take $50, the headphones take $40, the jacket takes $35, and the miniature waffle maker takes $18.75, because even stupidity can be financed. Mike checks his account. His paycheck is gone. It did not even unpack its bags. The suitcase, it turns out, was just for show. This is the part nobody thinks about at checkout. You are not only borrowing money, you are borrowing from your future paycheck. Future Mike was going to use that money for rent, groceries, and electricity. Present Mike used it to buy shoes that squeak when he walks. The squeaking, somehow, is the least financially concerning part of this entire situation. Now, pay-in-4 plans are not automatically evil. Many of them charge no interest when payments are made on time. Many common pay-in-4 products divide a purchase into 4 equal payments, typically with the first payment at checkout and 3 more due over the following 6 weeks. Many plans charge no interest, though fees and policies vary. Mike, for the record, is always the second stick figure, never the calm, responsible one. The problem is not always one purchase. The problem is stacking 8 small purchases on top of each other like a financially unstable Jenga tower. Structural engineers were not consulted, and it absolutely shows. One payment plan is easy to remember. 8 payment plans require an air traffic controller, and Mike has no idea how much he still owes. He only knows that every few days, his bank account gets mysteriously punched in the face. Mike has still not identified a suspect, mostly because the suspect is his own decision-making. This is why splitting payments can feel so harmless. The brain focuses on the first payment instead of the full price. A $300 purchase feels painful. 4 payments of $75 feel like 4 separate problems for 4 separate versions of you. All 4 of them are furious, and frankly, all 4 of them have a point. Current Mike gets the product. Future Mike gets the consequences, and future Mike is getting extremely tired of this arrangement. Buy now, pay later use has grown because it is fast, convenient, and available almost everywhere. In the Federal Reserve's latest household survey, 16% of adults said they had used it during the previous year. The Federal Reserve reported that 16% of adults used BNPL during the prior 12 months in its 2025 household survey, up from 10% when the question was first asked in 2021. Mike, notably, is not one of the careful planners in this survey. That does not mean everyone using it is in trouble. Some people plan carefully, track every payment, and pay everything on time. Mike does none of those things. Mike's financial system is checking his bank account, whispering please, and refreshing the screen. The candles are less about ambiance and more about setting the mood for a small financial funeral. Then one payment hits earlier than Mike expected. His account does not have enough money. The payment fails. Depending on the provider and the plan, missing a payment can lead to late fees, account restrictions, or other consequences. And if the bank account is empty, another fee may be waiting behind the first fee holding a folding chair. The CFPB says many BNPL loans do not charge interest, but most may charge late fees when payments are missed. The FTC also warns that some plans may charge payment, rescheduling, or other fees. Mike has never once read the terms and conditions, which is statistically extremely on brand for him. Mike bought a $25 shirt. Somehow this has turned into a full legal drama between him, his bank, and a company whose app uses a friendly pastel color. The most dangerous part is that Mike still does not feel like he is in debt. There is no giant credit card balance staring at him, just a swarm of tiny payments hiding in different apps. A swarm, it turns out, is somehow scarier than one big obvious problem ever was. One giant bear is terrifying. 40 angry squirrels are adorable until they begin attacking your face. That is basically Mike's budget. Eventually, Mike realizes he has committed nearly half of his next paycheck before he has even earned it. His future income has been pre-eaten. Pre-eaten income, it turns out, is not a phrase that shows up in any budgeting textbook, but it should. So Mike finally does something radical. He opens every payment app at the same time. The numbers are worse than expected. Mike owes money on clothes he no longer likes, headphones he already lost, and a waffle maker that has produced exactly one disappointing waffle. The waffle, everyone agrees, was never going to be worth this. He adds everything together. For the first time, Mike sees the full price, not the cute payment, the actual damage. Mike creates a rule. If he cannot afford the full price today, he does not pretend the item costs 1/4 as much. It is a small rule, but it is the first one Mike has ever actually kept. He removes his saved payment information, because adding friction is useful when your thumb has the spending habits of a raccoon in a convenience store. He also tracks every remaining payment on one calendar. No surprises, no mystery attacks, no miniature waffle-related financial emergencies. The calendar, for the first time in months, contains no surprises whatsoever. Then he stops opening new plans until the old ones are gone. One by one, the payments disappear. After 6 weeks, Mike receives a paycheck that is not immediately eaten alive. He checks his balance 3 times because he assumes the money is a clerical error. The stick, for the record, does not reveal any hidden fees. For the first time in months, future Mike and present Mike are no longer enemies. They agree to share custody of the paycheck. Buy now, pay later can be useful when it is planned, affordable, and tracked. But splitting a price does not reduce the price. It only makes the purchase feel smaller. The pizza, Mike notes, was a surprisingly effective visual aid. Before choosing pay in 4, ask yourself, could I pay the full amount today without creating a problem? If the answer is no, 4 smaller problems may not be an improvement. And if you currently have 12 payment plans open, do not panic. Just open the apps, add everything together, and make a plan. Then please return the miniature waffle maker. Nobody needed that. Nobody's entirely sure the waffle maker will be accepted at the return counter, but Mike is willing to try. Subscribe to Wealth Files for more stories about money, debt, investing, and the financial decisions quietly ruining your Tuesday. Because understanding money is much cheaper than learning about it through late fees.